All right, so welcome to the Madrinas and Padrinos overview. Thank you for being here, everybody. Um, we are going to just get started and go over some of this information. So Madrinas and Padrinos, if you have one or if you are one, you know that this is a position of honor, but it also carries a high level of responsibility, mostly because it's a lifelong impact on the ahados and ahadas that they take on. So when I think about madrinas and padrinos, you know, what do they give? Aside from domingos, they give guidance, examples of how to walk through various life stages, and they correct you when you miss steps, and they support you in your life goals. So kind of with those kind of sentiments and core values, at LGHN, we have a vast number of professionals with expertise and knowledge in a variety of areas. So we have public sector, finance, human resources, economics, you know, every city managers. So in 2004, LGHN established the Madrinas and Padrinos program to provide that support system for emerging leaders working in local government to guide a new generation of LGHN members into leadership positions. So if you listen to our LGHN president this morning at the membership meeting, he said one of his priorities were and goals were to create a pipeline, and that's what this program helps to achieve, that pipeline of our future leaders. So what is new? What exactly have we done? Because it has been going on for a while. So we kind of reimagined, restructured, revamped it a little bit. The biggest change, if you've been part of it, is that we'll do the connecting for you. So as we were kind of talking a little bit about like what to do and how to go about changing what we mean to do, one of the biggest things was making that reach, you know, like, so we decided we'll be that match.com for you, you know, those of you that have a reference, as I met my husband. So it's a good one. The other thing is the challenge. So how to get started, what to say when you get there. So we created a toolkit as well. And then objectives and outcomes, you know, how do we know if it's working, you know? So that's kind of what we've done with it. We've taken the core values and just revamped it and restructured them so that it has a 9-month commitment now. You still have that professional connect. We have a toolkit and we have some additional check-ins. So some of the other things that you'll see is we researched a little bit about what makes good mentorship programs work. And we added some of those things to it. So meet and greet events that are virtual are going to be part of that. Then you'll also have some goals that help you assist. And we establish a recommended number of meetings per month and time, some networking, and then also assessing, you know, what's working, what not. So an exit survey for the program. So there's benefits to the programs, you know, so you're here obviously because it presents a benefit, and there's benefits no matter what stage you're at. So regardless of what stage you're at, you'll see benefits for that. How to navigate careers. So no matter where you are in your career, if you're new, if you transition to public service from someplace else, new to government, new stage in life, ready to like really get that supervisor or higher level role, we can connect you to that in that stage and help navigate. That's what your madrina and padrino will do for you. And then one of the things that we've connected is that this our madrinas and padrinos are going to provide that guidance to emerging leaders, and we're promote that 10 and 8 of the ICMA Code of Ethics that calls us to develop the competencies of associates in the use of management techniques. And then the biggest one too is just share lessons learned with values-centered principles, ethics, and equitable leadership lens. So the program itself has a little bit of structure. So we want to make sure that that program allows you to make the best of your time. So we set goals so that you can see what you're working, you can both see what you're working towards, what the expectations are, and kind of how to lead those conversations moving forward once you start meeting. And then make sure that everybody's prepared and you make the most of your time. So you'll see that mentees, we created questionnaires and check-ins for mentors and mentees. So they're prepared for the next meeting. And when you go there, you're actually making the best out of your time. The other thing we created is milestones. So you want to make sure and celebrate those goals and those milestones throughout. So the first one is the conference program preview. So yay, you're here. You've already completed one milestone. So thank you for that one. And the other one is the talent questionnaire and survey. So that's how we're going to make that match connection to get you connected to that best Madrino and Padrina that we can find for you. And we'll be sending that out after the conference. So Monday, start looking for that, and the survey shall go out, and that'll give us a sense of where you are, where you want to be, and then find the match for you and get you guys connected and get you started. And then the kickoff. So we'll start this program in October, November, and we'll get you guys going. And once you're going, you're not alone. So we'll do a mid-year program review in February, March. And then, of course, we'll celebrate all the wins, celebrate all the new mentorship relationships and all the growth throughout those 9 months, and reflect on what has happened, what can be done better, and how to move forward. And then the last part of it too, before I move on into getting to know each other, is paying it forward. So this program, what we want to do is, once you get through the program and get going, is that hopefully you want to pay it forward and continue that pipeline of leaders that we're growing through this organization and through this Madrinas Padrinos program. So what we're going to do now, so that was the gist of the program. So hopefully it gave you, if you're new, a little bit of a sense of, why this program is important, what it provides for you. And if you are at whatever stage you are, you might still be able to mentor and have a mentee. So if you're interested in being a madrina or a padrino, that's great. That survey will allow you to do that, and this is the right place. And if you're looking for an ahijado to mentor, then this is the place too. So you can go either way with that. Who we have today here. So you're going to have an opportunity to meet our madrinas and padrinos, and you're going to get split up. So we have padrinos only today, right? Who are padrinos? We have Ramiro, Rolando, and Raul. Is that right? So you can see our padrinos today on the screen. And what our IT person, Jason, will allow us to do is he's going to separate us into rooms. And what we'll do is we're going to have free flow dialogue among the mentors and the padrinos. So once you get to the table, feel free to share whatever questions you have and talk and just create dialogue. And then engage in discussion. So we have a few questions, but it's not structured. So if you have something else, go ahead. Then after 15, 20 minutes, you'll rotate to the next padrino so that you can get a chance to meet a few of the padrinos in the program. And then once we finish the rotation, so you'll rotate to the different padrinos, and then you'll come back. When you're meeting, it is a free-flowing discussion, but make sure that you write down some takeaways, and then we'll come back together and we'll share kind of what those takeaways were and what you learned from them, maybe what we do better. So Jason, if you can, you're going to break us out into groups, correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Okay. And then you'll, once we're ready, what we'll rotate is the padrinos. Jason will rotate the padrinos around, so you'll be able to stay in your room, and then your padrinos will switch. All right, well, enjoy your time away. And then these are some of the questions. You should have those available, I think, on the screen while you're meeting, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. So those are some of the conversation starters. Again, feel free to change them. Feel free to talk about if you have, some questions that you came to this conference with. You have some amazing people in the room with you, so just go ahead and share. I was thinking of Padrinos earlier for being here, and thank you all for showing up today to this session. I hope it was helpful. I hope you gained some good insight, and actually I hope you wrote it down because we're about to share. So just want to kind of talk a little bit about if anybody wants to share what some of the takeaways and the conversations, anything that stood out in the conversations that you had today.
I did have one comment that Raul, while we were talking in the second session, he mentioned a couple of times the mentor relationship, and I guess my question is how do you establish a mentoring relationship, with someone? I mean, is it? I guess that would be maybe a little bit intimidating to ask somebody to to be that for you, because everybody's so busy. How does that work?
Well, one of the things, and I'll let Raul answer a little more general, but one of the things that we're trying to do with this Madrinos and Padrinos program is to exactly that, because we have this enormous, pool of talented people, but it does become intimidating to connect with someone. So this program, if you're ready to, if you're going to sign up for it, we'll get information from you, and then we'll find you someone so that you don't have to do that kind of cold call. Hey, would you be my mentor? So that's one of the things that we can do through this program. It's a little bit easier, but then I'll let the Padrinos answer as to how you can do that kind of out in the general world.
Okay, thank you.
So this is Rolando. I'll base my response on my experience, right? I have a couple mentors, and I think they all serve a different purpose, right? I mean, I have a professional mentor, somebody that I've been had as my mentor since graduate school, and I have a faith-based mentor, right? I have a mentor that I see as somebody that I believe is a really good husband and a good father, and something that I want to model myself after, just because the experience that I grew up in wasn't one that I want to be like, and so I think number one is finding some connection, right? Finding some connection in terms of, there is something that you can that they can offer you. Number one, right? And number two is then making yourself available based on what their availability is, and then keeping that commitment. Does that if so? Like for example, my pastor, I know that he's busy, on these days of the week, and so his flexibility is on these couple of days, and so I make myself available for those days, and then I make it convenient for him. Like I'll meet him. He's not technology savvy, right? He doesn't want to be on the phone on their Zoom call. He wants to be, hey, let's go have breakfast, let's go have lunch, right? So I make it a priority for my schedule to accommodate him and make it as easy as possible for him, right? And then I come prepared. I come prepared with questions that I want to ask, right? And then I also give him feedback about, hey, like last week we talked about this, and you recommended this, and here's what I did, and so just like show him or her that the value, that there's value in what he's doing for you, right? Like there's like he's getting something out of it, right? Like I think that's important because people are so busy, right? They have a lot of priorities, and I think it's valuable of their time and effort to take that time and effort to help you in your profession and your career, personal life, whatever that may be. So number one, find somebody that you feel like, hey, there's something I'm going to be learning from that person. Number two, make it as convenient as possible for that person, right? Number three, make it, come prepared, show up on time, right? Let them know that their time is of value to you and it's important to you, and you don't want to be disrespectful to that, right? And be open and transparent. And sometimes, like I feel like my questions are like, whoa, where did that come from? And maybe they don't even have a response, right? But it's just, we just start talking about it together. And from that conversation, like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? And it wasn't necessarily something that he gave me. It was something that he got out of me by just talking to me about that situation, right? Mm-hmm. So I say that because I don't expect that they're going to have all the answers, is kind of what I'm saying as a mentor, right? Sometimes they might just help you work through that, right? And you determine what that answer is best for you, what's best for you. And so that's kind of been my experience. And like I said, I've had a couple of mentors that I really rely on, and I believe have helped me become the person that I am right now. But yeah, professionally it's important, but what's really important for me is as a human being, as a husband, as a father, and as a follower of Christ. Those are the most important things for me, and I feel like I've gained a lot from my mentors, and a lot of that is again just appreciating them and accommodating them so that can be as easy as possible for them. So wow. That's what I would say.
Like that. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
I know, Raul, if you have please share.
Yeah, just to add what Rolando said, and when I mentor individuals in our organization, and we actually within our organization, we have a mentoring program for employees that have just come into the organization that are within 5 years. We call it the new public servant initiative. And so we partner a department director or an assistant city manager with individuals that the department directors have identified as up and coming potential leaders of the organization. And we have like a whole plan that we identify when we're going to meet, the types of topics that we're going to talk about, but all that's done mutually. I think part of this mentor relationship is that you both have to agree on what's going to be the benefit for you, and then what's going to be the benefit for the mentor, because I get benefits from mentoring people all the time. And so sort of identifying that and putting that down on paper and following that for the time period that you're going to be mentoring with that person. And be transparent. I mean, I'm fully transparent with everyone that I mentor. I hope that the individuals that I mentor are transparent, and they come, they want to learn, and they want to, explore how to deal with issues that they may be confronting in the workplace. But yeah, transparent and being honest about it is what makes these relationships work.
Yeah. Angie, can I add something else to that question, my response? And
Of course.
my wife says it really, really well. And she says that, we as people, we go through seasons in our life, right? Just like the seasons in the year that we experience, we go through seasons in our life. And sometimes, there's people that come into your life at the right time and during that season when you're going through something really important. And that person can be that mentor. And so I say that to say this, right? Mentors doesn't have to be for a long period of time. Mentors could come in and just be one or two conversations, and that's all you really need, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so don't ever feel like you have to, oh, it's a mentor now, I got to sign a 5-year lease, right? Like it's not, and it doesn't have to be that. It can be that, right? I mean, like I said, I have one of those with my professional mentor, and I've been following him, and we've been in contact since grad school, right? But other times it doesn't have to be like that. It can just be like somebody that's helping you through this transition or through this period in your life where they have a similar experience, and it can be really beneficial to you. And it's okay that it's 2 times or 3 times, and that's it, right? And just so don't feel like you have to lock yourself into like a long-term commitment, because it may not be what you need, right? And so you may need that time to go do something with some other person that can help you out in another season in your life. So think about it like that.
Awesome.
Very
Mhm.
cool.
Good to hear.
Thank
Yeah,
you guys. I really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Hey, and I wanted to add something. As I said, we have a program within our city where we match people up. But I have individuals in the organization that will send me an email or call me and said, hey, can I come talk to you about, I've seen you present at the commission and I need, some assistance or some guidance on how to do that. Are you willing to sit down with me 2 or 3 times to talk about that? So, I mean, if there are people in your organization that you admire or that you think are doing a great job or that you can get some good feedback from, don't be shy about sending them an email and asking them, or picking up the phone and calling them. Most people will say yes. I mean, we all want to help and grow the workforce. So don't be shy in asking.
Perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if they say no, there's someone else that will say yes.
It's true. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Griselda, can I say something really quick?
Oh, yes.
I just want y'all to know that Griselda is fairly new to our board, but she is really taking on this leadership role on this program. And the PowerPoint that she presented, these are really her ideas, and working with our executive director and kind of energizing our mentorship program. And so I just wanted to say thank you, Griselda, for the time and effort that you've given to our organization, but also focusing on this important program that we have. And so you're focusing in the right areas, and we really appreciate your expertise that you're bringing in and all the research that you've done to kind of grow this program. So thank you so much, Griselda.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say that that some of the things that you brought up, I think are really on point. So thank you for bringing that. One of the things I think that resonated is that being transparent. It's a little scary. It's putting yourself out there, but knowing that that's what it takes to kind of grow that mentorship, it's important to hear. And then the other one is that you get something back also from those relationships, right? And that you have, because sometimes you go to a mentor and you're like, I'm just taking and taking and taking, but there's a mutual give and take. So keeping that up front, I think helps kind of continue to build that relationship. And I really love that you have multiple mentors.
Yeah.
You know, like that there's different stages, because sometimes we try and find one person, and you know, there's not one that has it all. So it's good to be able to hear, like, you know, it's okay that someone doesn't have the answers. It's okay that someone can serve you as a mentor in one area and someone in another. It doesn't have to be in all. It doesn't have to be a forever. So thank you for sharing that. But I think it eases kind of the stress of like, oh, am I doing the right thing? So thank you. Does anybody else have anything else to share?
Hi, my name is Marcos Guzman. I'm out of Phoenix, Arizona. I work for the city of Phoenix. The one person that was asking about the mentor-mentee program, the city of Phoenix has one. And if I know the person that kind of runs that program, I'm more than willing to make the connection just to get some ideas for that particular city or that entity if they wanted to start a mentor-mentee program at their organization. So I'm happy to do that. My name is marcos.guzman@phoenix.gov. If they want to send me an email about it, and I can hopefully make the connection. Another thing that I wanted to point out, good point on Rolando, saying, you know, sometimes those mentors, they're temporary or they're just passing through. So I have two coworkers that I work with that are highly educated, very intelligent individuals, and I feed off of them, right? Little do they know, they're like mentoring me, because I'm picking each of their brains. Every time I come up to a situation or a question, I ask them, hey, what do you think about this? Because my mind or my insight might not be as broad as theirs. They could see maybe the giant picture, and I'm just looking at the corner of it. So like, they're mentoring me without mentoring me. So every chance I get, I'm always going to them. Hey, what do you think about this? And then I start seeing their brains start working, like, well, you know, take a look at this, and it's great. So sometimes it doesn't really, you know, I don't have to sign up for a program. I just look at those people, just like Rolando said, those people I want to be a role model, have them be a role model to me. Is I look for them and I'm like, man, they're smart. They know how to think. They brainstorm. Like, I need to talk to them. So great job, everybody. But yeah, I'm happy to help make the connection if they need it.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, because even
Good
now I'm thinking
info,
about
yeah.
somebody. I have someone in mind that I could promise that I might want to, whose brain I might want to pick. So
Yeah, exactly. Get an insight from other individuals, and that's how you gain knowledge and skills, just guidance from people. So
Yeah.
it's great. It's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just find out what they like for lunch and just bring them lunch, Angie. One
you're
day.
right.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
He's vegetarian, so yeah, I think we'll have a vegetarian meal. Thank you, and I'll be emailing you, Marcos. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Anything that I can help with. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, when I first came into the city, you know, I was military before that, and it was even though I was in grad school and I felt like I learned a lot, like it was all brand new, and I applied some of the same principles that I applied in military that I got from my first sergeant. Right, was like, look, there are people that are going to do things right, and there are people who are going to do things wrong. You know, learn from the people that do things right. Be observant. Ask questions. And that's what I started doing. And man, like my first city manager in city of Austin, Tubby Fortrell, one of the smartest persons that I've ever been around. I mean, just her aptitude, the level of questions, her memory, like her recall of things was just unbelievable. I mean, I just haven't seen anybody match that level of intelligence, right? And I love the way she approached council meetings, right? When council was speaking, you can see that she was writing things down, right? And when she was answering the questions, she would repeat the questions, right? So that they knew that, hey, this is the question I'm answering now. Like, this is how I heard it from you. And correct me if I'm wrong, right? But this is what I heard. And I've applied that to how I approach when I go to council and I'm presenting my contracts for them. And, you know, they start asking me, I note it down and I take my time, right? And then we have an Austin water utility director. He's a tremendous storyteller. The way he tells issues, and you know, it makes it seem like anybody can understand what he's experiencing, right? And I'm like, okay, I want to learn that. I want to approach that kind of like storytelling, because storytelling is so important, and we forget that, you know, and how we approach work. And so Like, and that's just, again, being observant, and it's not really a mentor. It's just observing and then taking away the things that people do really well and that are seen successful, and then, not being a copycat. I mean, because you still have to add your own little flair to it, right? But those practices, those processes, those principles, like taking them to and incorporating and put them in your toolbox, and then you utilize those, because, why are you going to go out there and try to use something that hasn't been proven as successful? Like, but there are a lot of different things that are successful. Is start using some of those. And then I would say, a question that was asked me a while back in the military, right? It was like, what is your leadership style? And I would say, Marcus, Patty, Angie, Sandra, start thinking about that, right? If you already haven't done so, like, what is your leadership style? What would you define the approach that you take as leadership, right? Are you a micromanager? Do you empower? Do you provide vision? Goal? I mean, start thinking about that in terms of, and what is it, how is it that you are as a leader? And if you haven't figured that out yet, start paying attention to that as you're working through things, right? Because that's super important to identify, your strength as a leader and things that you want to work on as a leader. So anyway, I feel like I'm going over now, so I'm gonna just mute me, Griselda. Okay, mute it. Or...
No, that's awesome wisdom. We love it, right? All right. Thank you for all of that. It's just great to hear. Anybody else, anything that you want to share that kind of resonated with you or that stood out for you during the conversations? And then this is the big question. Who's going to sign up for the Madrinas Padrinos program? Yay. And all hands go up. So that's all I have. If anything that you think maybe we might be able to do to enhance the Platicas for the future, feel free to share. We'd love feedback. We want to make it best. Yay, hands up.
Griselda, I wanted to ask Griselda, how do we reach you if we have more questions?
Oh, I will put my email in here. It's gestrada@grcity.us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just put that in the chat. Feel free to email me with anything at any time. I'd love to hear back from you guys. So I think it's like dinner time for you guys, right? It's like 7
Almost.
o'clock my time. It's like 7:18 my time. So just thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Very informative and helpful. Thank you.
This was really great.
Thank you to the Padrinos.
Yes, thank you guys. And have a great night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. Be safe.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.